You can scale with just picture ads. If you're new to dropshipping or maybe you've tried it for some time now and haven't seen the success you want, I'm here to bring you behind the scenes on day one of a brand new test that I did using solely picture ads and something called advertorials.
And for reference, here's the store on day one of that test. If I hit refresh here, boom, you can see these are the numbers. So really, really good performance at a 3% conversion rate. So here's some more information for you guys to understand. This day one test looks really good, and I obviously have to let this continue for the next couple of weeks. So I might make an update video updating you guys as the performance continues to go on. But this is all from image ads. I did not use any video ads or anything like that. And these image ads funnel into something called an advertorial. So let's take a look more of the metrics, and I'll break all that down, including the tools and things that I use. So $500 on total sales for the day. As you can see here, we spent a good amount of money to get that. But overall, the ROAS dipped a little bit as we were doing it, but it started to taper out. I actually took this screenshot a little too soon. I was eager because the results were really good. There was a couple more sales that came in, or actually, as you can see, there's only accounting 9 when there was 10 orders. So there was another order in here that came in. So the ROAS would have looked definitely a little better there. But the cool thing about this is as you can see here, a shit ton of add to carts at a really cheap cost per add to cart, and the conversion value, as you can see, was pretty good. Cost per result was steep. So these metrics here on a day one test is good. Now, keep in mind when you're testing creatives on a new product test, getting a sale on day one is like you'll take that, right? Normally, it's not until day 2, day 3 before you start to really get a little eager on the campaign performance. But what's also really interesting is the actual ad metrics. So the CTR is what blew me away with this first day test. 17%, 16%, 8%, 12%. The cost per click was insanely low, and the CPMs fairly low. Now, for video CPMs, I would want this to be closer to 30, but because it's pictures and the CTR and the cost per click are so low, I'm okay with that. So that's kind of what we're looking at for day one. So pretty impressive, honestly. Like I'm happy with that. And we did walk away with about $100 in profit. My break-even ROAS is 1.3. So that additional sale that came in would have made this ROAS a little higher, and it would have, it was a profitable day, but the ad metrics didn't reflect that properly. But pretty good for day one testing. Now, let me break it down in a little bit more detail, right? So let me know if this sounds like you. You got into dropshipping with the goal of changing your life and becoming financially free. You've seen all the 18-year-old kids making a fortune with this, so you figured if they can do it, so can I. With limited financial flexibility, you hopped into the game of dropshipping and quickly realized how expensive it can be. So far, your journey has consisted of failed product after failed product after failed product, and you're probably watching this video right now after failing yet another product test. I know because I've been there many times. You can actually look back on this channel and you'll see I started in February of 2025. A lot of dropshippers that make content, and I understand a lot of people respect these guys, have been doing it for years, 5, 6, 7 years in the game of dropshipping, which is great. You should learn from those guys. I personally love sharing my perspective because I'm fairly new to the game of dropshipping. I haven't even been doing it for a year. And anything that I'm learning and I'm sharing with you guys is it's coming from the perspective of someone that's just now learning it. So all the new and relevant techniques that are relevant right now is what I'm learning and sharing with you guys. Versus some of the other bigger dropshippers that have been doing it for years now are probably regurgitating information from 3, 4 years ago. For reference, right? I'm not saying all of them do, but I know there are a few that do. So here's a hard truth I learned in my 6-ish months of dropshipping. When everyone zigs, you zag, right? So right now, one of the biggest reasons you're probably struggling is because you're doing what everyone else is doing, which is, and heck, I even teach it too, go to Calidata and find winning TikTok shop products and bring them over to Meta. Everyone's doing this because it works. It's a great strategy, especially as a beginner. It's far easier to do something like this than other strategies of doing product market research, but it comes at a cost, right? So I know you're doing that because everyone does that, including myself. I've made multiple videos, YouTube videos about this strategy, but this is actually why picture ads have been working so well for me, and not many people are really doing it. So that's why it's kind of working. I personally got fed up with testing a product and even sometimes getting it to pop off 10 to 15K in a week. Like I have some really good, strong first week product tests, but then a few days later, or maybe a week or so, it'll just die down. And I'll start feeding in the beast, trying to, spend more money, throw more creatives in, and it will just not work. So it took me a while to realize why this was happening, but now I get it. Right? The market is just being filled with too many of these TikTok crossover products. So my game plan, I'm not saying you should do this. I'm not saying this is the best strategy. I'm just saying my game plan going into this big Q4 is to use advertorials and AI picture ads to scale. So here's how I'm going to do that. Here's what you're going to learn. All right. So first off, what is an advertorial? Here's some simple examples of advertorials. If we go to these ad libraries, and by the way, at any given point, if you guys want this document, just DM me on Instagram. My DMs have been acting really weird. So if you've DM'd me and I've not responded, please DM me again. I don't know what it was, but my DMs were just toasted. So if we go to this person's page, Pillow Slides, they have a mixture of regular product page ads, right? Like if I click on one of these, it might just bring me straight to a product page. Yes. But they also have these types of ads as well. So if you notice, they have an entire ad library. Some of these ads, instead of going to the product page, right, instead of going directly to the product page, which most ads, that's what they do, theirs goes to an advertorial, right? So this is what an advertorial is. It's basically like a page before the product page where they're sharing information about why you're suffering with a problem. In this case, it's sore ankles or foot pain. And some people might call this a listicle because it's actually just listing things. So, listicles, advertorials, they're slightly different, but they do the same thing. Basically, it's providing information in the sense of an article where someone can learn, get their pain agitated, meaning if they're suffering from an issue, they see your ad and click on it, you're going to reaffirm their pain by saying, hey, yeah, you probably are dealing with this pain, but here's why you are dealing with it. They'll provide the reason why you're dealing it, and then they'll say, hey, the only way to solve this is with this solution, this product, which is the product that they're selling. Then when they click on it, then it brings them there. So it's a step before the product page. It's not that hard of a concept to understand. Here's a better way to kind of look at this. If I go into Google and type in top 10 tech products and I go to the best tech products, right? This is more of a listicle, but what you'll see is you'll have an article where people are explaining stuff, and then you'll have links to all these articles go to something like Amazon, right? So this has been around since the dawn of time. Here's some more examples. Skincare, right? This is their ad library, Beauty Derma, and some of their ads go straight to actually, I believe a lot of their ads go straight to their advertorial. So dermatologists, right, there's going to be, some characteristics of an advertorial is there's going to be social proof. There's going to be authority anchoring. So there's going to be some type of specialist that reaffirms this belief. By the way, for all we know, all this information is made up, but it's just designed in a way that looks and feels like a real advertorial, right, or a real article that's informing people about the problem that they're having. And this problem is a big problem. If you don't get it fixed, there's going to be other underlying issues. So they go on to list a bunch of different things. And then, again, there's multiple call to actions to say, hey, get the one and only solution that can fix this this big problem. Right. And there's also always pictures to help illustrate, people love pictures. And then boom, once I click on this, brings me straight to their actual page. Now, this is great because pictures help stand out, but now you don't have the leverage of videos, right? In a video, you can explain and show the product in use. A picture, you kind of can with some products, but for the most part, you can't. So now, basically, they're putting the copy that you normally would have in a video into an article that looks more trustworthy, more believable, because people don't immediately turn off their sales wall, right? As people scroll on social media and come across ads, by nature, their sales brains say, hey, I don't want to watch an ad right now. I'm not here to watch ads, and I'll skip by it. But if you blend and disguise it, it will blend and disguise a lot easier, and people will be more likely to click and buy. That's why my ad results are so great. The CTR is insane. The cost per click is insane because it doesn't feel like an ad. So that is what's working. We'll see a pet one here, right? This brand, Healthy Pet Insider. Boom. Right. And by the way, you can look at these ad libraries and pause and look at their picture ads. Right. You don't only have to do this with picture ads, by the way. You can do this with video ads. But look, right, like this is an ad right here. This looks like a regular, picture you would see on your Facebook feed. But then when you click on it, brings you into an advertorial. right? And it's has to be structured with a strong headline. Top veterinarian exposes hidden dog killers. This is why 81% of dogs are dying 5 years too soon, right? That's gonna make you, if you're a dog, you have a dog and you're a dog person, that's gonna make you want to read this. Like, whoa, wait, what's going on, right? It's disguised as an ad. This is all copy to frame their product as the only solution. So they're saying one of the biggest reasons why dogs are being killed is because they're drinking from dirty bowls that have contaminated water, right? Ooh, they introduced a problem. A lot of people that click on this ad wouldn't have even thought this to be a problem, but advertorials are designed to create a problem you never know you had and give you a solution that you never know you thought you needed. So of course, they got to anchor it with veterinary hospitals, right? Like, this has to be social proof and there has to be authority anchoring. By the way, this is all AI, right? Like, this copy that wrote this was AI. This person is AI. It's not a real person. Obviously, these dogs are AI. So that is all I'm doing. So what I did was I found a brand that was scaling, right? Like a brand that was one of these brands here that was scaling, right? They recently launched ads, but they didn't have the ads up for too long. And I was like, all right, cool. So I'm going to replicate what they were doing, launch ads similar to them with a similar product and similar copy to their advertorial, and boom. Launched the ads, did it all within a few hours in a day and launched the ads, and that's pretty much it. And it's great because with picture ads as well, you don't have to worry about stealing Cali data videos, bringing them over to Facebook, and then have so many other competitors take those exact same videos and undercut your performance of your ads, because eventually the whole market is seeing the same exact freaking ad because everyone's stealing the exact same ad. Very, very few times do people actually edit or update the ad. So it's going to basically be like almost one-to-one. But with picture ads, you can create your own picture ads. Right? This is all can be recreated. If you want to just have a sad pet, you can go in and recreate that really easily. I'm going to show you how. Okay, so real quick synopsis here. So why do these work so well? They a lot of times don't look like regular ads, like I mentioned. They inform the customer and provide proper objection handling, risk reversal. So again, video ads are very hard to do this. With an article, there's more real estate and information to share with the customer before they actually realize that they are a customer and are going to buy the product. So, and by the way, this product here, the HydroPaw, is a water fountain for pets. So they go here, add some scarcity, boom. People buy all this stuff here because you introduced a problem, and now you also introduced a solution to that same problem. So that's important. They position their product as the only logical solution. So the way to do this is to say that your product has some type of proprietary formula or solution that only your product has, right? So a lot of times they'll say on Amazon, like if you thought about getting this on Amazon, a lot of them don't have the HydroPaw, hydro filter that is better than all the other filters on the market, right? And they'll say that, right? You can actually read somewhere down here, I believe. They're like, yeah, don't get this on Amazon because they don't have the proprietary system. And then they also do the risk reversal, right? So if you don't love this, you get your money back, no questions asked. People love buying things with a money back guarantee. Yeah, and then they'll say, doctors recommend this exact solution, which a lot of times it's all just copy, it's not real. So yeah, authority anchoring, and it goes without saying, only certain products will work with advertorials. So this is important as well. And it's based on the products that align with an older demographic. If you think about the common, the different demographics, the different age groups of customers on the internet, this is going to fit mostly for people above the age of 35, right? It's going to be very hard to get someone that is 24 years old to buy, to sit down and read an article. I'm not saying it doesn't happen or you can't work well, but it's going to be better aligned for the older demographic above the age of 35. I would even say above the age of 40 that want to sit down and read an article, because those are the only real group of people that really do that. And you'll notice that a lot of my sales that came in that day, I think 9 out of the 10 of them all came from Facebook, right? This isn't really going to do well on Instagram. Now, obviously, you just set your open targeting. You set the targeting open. You don't really touch anything with that. Actually, let me show you basically what I did here. Ad structure for this is super easy. At the campaign level, we're going to do a CBO. Ad set, we're going to just do one ad set, and it's going to be US broad. So that means you don't touch any interests. You don't touch the placement, even though we know that Facebook will most likely perform best, or the ad platform will will most likely show a lot of these on Facebook. That's where most people are it's gonna blend in the best and look the best, and more people are gonna be reading on Facebook. So you might think, oh, Alex, why don't I just automatically help Facebook and turn off Instagram and all that stuff? I would still just leave placements on automatic, so Facebook will do that because it's gonna know anyway. So you don't even have to bother wasting your time doing that. And then because they're picture ads, you want to throw in 5 to 10 of these and make sure there's like different pictures, right? You want to have different pictures, different headline hooks, different whatever you want to do with that, so that it just is different. And then whichever one is the best of that for whatever reason, what I'm gonna plan on doing with this, as long as it stays profitable, is I'm going to find whichever one of these 5 or 10 are the best. I'm going to recreate that with a different image, with a different angle, with a different headline, whatever. And I'm going to make a bunch more variations of that and create a new ad set under the same campaign. And then boom, launch it there. You could also just create this under a completely new campaign if you wanted to, but I want to have these fight against each other and continue to figure out which one's outperforming which. So yeah, that's what I would do there, and then increase the budget 10 to actually around 20 to 30% every 2 3 days after every profitable day or two. So yeah, that's it for campaign structure. You don't have to overthink that. All right, so to create these images, and by the way, guys, the whole goal here is something I forgot to mention is you want to throw copy in the image headline as well. This is what we use for generating realistic images. It's Higgsfield. There's different pricing models that you can sign up for, but it creates really good videos. But obviously, we're doing this with pictures. This is by far the best. This is better than ChatGPT, the best image generating tool that I've ever seen. It generates realistic images like this person here. They're showing a feature where you can turn pictures into videos, but before they're turned into videos as regular pictures, these are some of the best pictures I've ever seen. And you can literally use ChatGPT to help you prompt it, and then you throw it into Higgsfield and generate an image. It's actually disgusting. So the feature that I use is Higgsfield Soul, and these are some images that I generated for like a case study section of one of my websites. And the realism in this is so insane, right? Like I said, literally generate like a selfie style picture. Actually, if I click on the prompt here, I believe, uh, if I go to edit here or something like that, it does give you yeah. So if I hit recreate, it gives me the exact script that I use and everything. But you can generate super realistic images, right? Like I use this to generate this section of my case studies, my reviews. I could obviously tell the generator, Higgsfield Soul, to generate a person holding a product, which is really cool. A lot of people are using this tool for product image generation, but these are all real pictures that I use. This is better than ChatGPT in my honest opinion, because ChatGPT, the character is still, their skin looks still too smooth for me. But for this, like you can see the vein popping, the wrinkles in the forehead. Really cool. There's obviously sometimes little issues here, but look at this. You mean to tell me this isn't real? This is not a real person? Yeah, so that's pretty cool. So Higgsfield, I use ChatGPT to help me prompt it. So I'll say, hey, ChatGPT, this is what I want to accomplish. Give me a prompt that executes this to a T. Then I'll grab that, throw it into Higgsfield. Boom, generates realistic images of pretty much whatever you want, which is amazing. Want to circle back to one quick, very important point of the image ads plus advertorials, right? Why do these work so well? Another portion of this that makes this work so well is this portion here, which is the very long copy. So if I go back to Healthy Pet Insider, this brand here, and I look at the copy that they're using, this is very long, right? This is supposed to, again, blend in and look like and feel like a regular feed post that someone just comes across naturally. And I guess this is a thing because I don't use Facebook, but I guess this is a thing on Facebook where people do still do this, where they have these like really long caption style, article posts. And it's basically this really long story about that complements the picture really well. And it's like very interesting because it's like additional copy and messaging and information you can provide. It's separate from what's in the advertorial, but it tells its own first person story to help illustrate and narrate and make it seem like this person is just a person posting this on their feed. Like, hey, I just wanted to share this with the world. This was happening. I was going through this problem and pain with my, in this case, golden retriever. And then boom, 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 someone told me about this amazing tool that actually helps them not deal with whatever pain, right? And then people will read this, click on this, read the advertorial, and then they will already pretty much be sold on your product and want to buy. That's why conversion rates on these types of things tend to be higher, because they're, by the time they get to the product page, they've already read so much copy and messaging. The great thing about this too, guys, is like if this is confusing or like lost on what to do or how to do it, literally what I did, because no one taught me how to do this. I learned on my own by just studying and copying what people were doing in the Facebook ad library and replicating that. And boom, got the same results that they probably are getting to. To build your articles, you can use a tool called Pagefly Builder. This is the one I use. You get like free one advertorial, and it comes with templates and everything. So you get free one that you don't have to pay for, and then if you want more than that, you have to pay like a certain amount. But this is the one I use. It's an app that blends in directly with Shopify, and then you build your product page like you normally would, and then you just link your product at the end pretty easily. So this is really cool. And then whatever you build from here, they'll give you a link that you can throw into your ads manager, and customers will click on that and see that first. So Pagefly, really simple, really easy to use, and it helps you create really good landing pages. And it already has an advertorial template that you can literally just use, copy and paste, and you're ready to go. And final notes here. The thing I love the most about this strategy is that you can scale with just image ads, which you can create a lot of too. So another big portion of scaling to those higher months in dropshipping is you need to constantly, of course, increasing your budget after profitable days, but also be testing a ton of different images or angles rather. And then image ads allow you to do that way faster and easier than video ads, as we know. This type of funnel will last longer and perform better than typical video ads straight to a product page, obviously, because customer fatigue is less, and because more customers or more potential customers are more likely to click on it, it will last longer because it blends in better and it doesn't get fatigued as much. And as you may or may not know, Facebook rewards advertisers that create good ads, right? Ads that are good deemed to Meta are going to be boosted out more. I started to notice already on day one that I got a lot of comments on my pictures because again, it blends in and people don't even realize it's an ad. Versus a video style video style that we're all normal and used to, those tend to fall off pretty quickly because the ad performance falls off pretty quickly. So Meta stops giving it and pushing it more on the platform, because if the ad isn't getting engaged with, it's not getting interactions, it's gonna have higher CPMs, higher CPCs. But an image ad like the one I'm creating that looks natural and blends in to the feed, it's going to be pushed by Meta, and they're going to reward me more with cheaper cost per clicks, cheaper cost per CPMs, better CTRs and whatnot. And then once you get the hang of it, you can keep doing it over and over again with more products. That's my game plan here. Scale one store with this, launch a new one, and do it over and over again. So hopefully this little piece of nugget that I learned recently can help you also maybe get over the hump of ripping Calidata videos and bringing them over to to Meta. It still works, still a great strategy. Hell, I'm going to probably still be doing it here and there with some other stores. But if you're serious about dropshipping, I just highly recommend you try the advertorial plus image ad route, because it could be a game changer for you. It could be the missing piece that finally helps you get over that hump and start making some good money with this, because we all know dropshipping has the potential to.